If anything adversity's taught me in the past, it's when times are good, be grateful. And when times like this, be graceful.
I was just so prepared, for tonight. This one really hurts.
Life's about evolving.
Picking myself up, getting better, doing it again. That's how fighting goes. You get knocked down and you keep working towards the goal. That's my story.
What's good, guys? Today we're going to be breaking down Dustin Poirier versus Islam Makhachev, which takes place in Newark, New Jersey. Starting with the early prelims, ending with the main event of the night. This is going to be a stacked pay-per-view. We had one fight change. André Lima's opponent pulled out. It was some guy with a weird-ass last name. So now Mitch is making his UFC debut. Mitch Raposo is making his UFC debut against André Lima. He was supposed to fight on Dana White Contender Series, but he skipped that and is making his debut against André Lima. So let's start off with the early prelims. Let's break it down. André Lima versus Mitch Raposo. André Lima has a record of 8-0-0. His opponent has a record of 9-1-0. His opponent has one loss on his record in the Contender Series. How long ago? 2 years and 7 months ago to Jake Hadley by submission, rear naked choke. That's when he was trying to get into the UFC, and 4 wins later, he's in the UFC. 4 fast career finishes later as well, and he gets put on notice, and we're gonna see how he does against his debut against André Lima. Very short notice, guys. 25 years old to 25, 126 flyweight division, 5'7" to 5'5", 67 to 64. Guys, give me André Lima still, just because I know Mitch Raposo is really good. He's gonna give him a really good 15 hard-fought battle, but I think André Lima, no matter who steps in, other than if it's like a top flyweight contender, I think he's gonna give anybody a good matchup, and he matches up stylistically really well with Raposo, considering Raposo's a guy who's gonna want to bang with him, he's gonna want to strike with him, and we're gonna see how they look on the scales too on Friday, because I'm gonna do my weigh-in recap on Friday. Guys, tune in for everything, because Friday I will be here and I'll be doing a weigh-in recap, and we're gonna judge how the fighters look off the scales, and I'll make my final predictions off that. Give me André Lima to win this by decision, 29-28. Some people are probably gonna go fat on a KO just because it's short notice, but let me see what Tapology's not here. I know André Lima's gonna be the favorite though, so give me André Lima to win by decision. Give me the over 1.5 as well. Joselyne Edwards versus Ailin Perez, guys. When we look at this fight is a backstage brawl that happened when they were training together. Joselyne Edwards ended up punching Ailin Perez in the eye and giving her a black eye. Joselyne Edwards with a record of 13-5-0. Her opponent, Ailin Perez, with a record of 9-2-0. Her loss within her last 5 is to Stephanie Egger by submission. Joselyne Edwards she lost twice out of her last 5 to Nora Cornell. Arguably, maybe she could have won that, mixing the takedowns. And to Jessica Rose Clark, she clearly lost that. Plus 210 for Joselyne Edwards, minus 265 for Ailin Perez. Miami, Florida, 29-28, bantamweight division, 5'8", 5'5", 70-inch reach to 67. Right now, I know Ailin Perez is a dog. She's a beast. She's really good. I had Ailin Perez in the early predictions. I have to see how they look looking up against each other. I don't like Ailin. She's like my least confident pick, just because Joselyne Edwards can mix in the takedowns and she's a longer striker, and all of her close fights go to split decision. This fight definitely goes the distance. Give me the over 2.5. I'm going to take... I hate picking favorites. Give me Ailin Perez to win this by unanimous decision, 29-28, and it maybe even go split, so I'm not unanimous. Give me split decision, 29-28. 28-29 for Joselyne, and then 29-28 for Ailin Perez. Just because I know this is going to be a close fight, bro. It definitely goes the distance, though. Nobody's finishing. Give me Ailin Perez to win by decision. Tapology has 18% for Edwards. It's just Edwards is inconsistent, man. Like, if she's not flowing in her flow state, she's not going to perform. Next fight, we got Gall versus Bassil Hafez. This is one of my most confident picks other than André Lima. Let's go Gall, 2 years and 1 month a layoff. Gall has a record of 7-5-0. His opponent has a record of 8-4-1 for Hafez. Hafez has lost his last has lost to Jack Della Maddalena. He stepped up on short notice. And a lot of people say that arguably he could have won that, but I don't think he was going to win that either way. Jack whooped him. But a lot of people were saying Jack got fraud checked because he was able to get it taken down and controlled. But Hafez is just a beast. Hafez won his fight against in Fury. And yeah, I think his debut was against JDM on short notice. So it's kind of like the first fight where... but now it's his second fight in the UFC, so now it's time for him to bounce back and get a green W on his record. Mickey Gall is 7-5-0. 32 years old. He's from Jersey, so the people are going to be on his side, but he's a plus 225 underdog. His opponent, minus 290. 32 years old. 32 years old for Hafez. One welterweight division, 6'2 for Mickey Gall, 5'11. Mickey Gall has fought Mike Malott. He lost. He's fought Alex Morono. He's fought. And speaking of Mike Malott, that guy got fraud checked by Neil Magny, bro. Talk about the Canadians being... No, I'm just kidding. He beat Jordan Williams, and he lost to Mike Perry. I saw this fight. This fight was kind of weird with Mike Perry. Nobody's picking Gall, guys. I feel like an idiot because when everybody says Robelis to Spain, let's go Robelis to Spain first round KO. Give me Bassil Hafez just to win this money line. Just give me the money line. I don't know if he's gonna win by decision. A lot of people have KO. Give me Bassil Hafez to KO Mickey Gall in the second round. Let's go. Watch this go all 3 rounds. It's going to be an awesome first 3 fights, though. The crowd is going to go insane when this fight comes up. Niko Price versus Alex Morono. Alex Morono is a beast. The Great White versus the Hybrid. Niko Price with a record of 15-7-0. His opponent, Alex Morono, with a record of 24-9-0. Alex Morono is a minus 260 and plus 210 for Niko Price. 34 years old for Niko. 33 years old for Perez. For Alex Morono, I don't know why I said Alex Perez. I'm thinking of Tyson Tyra and Alex Perez. I was looking at that whole card. That card is sick, bro. I can't wait for that fight night. That's in 2 weeks. 34 years old, 33, 6'0 to 5'11, 76-inch reach for Niko, which is a great reach advantage for Niko. And Alex Morono is the dirty boxer who has beaten Court McGee, lost to Joaquin Buckley, no shame in that. Tim Means, he's beaten and lost to Santiago Ponzinibbio, and then beat Matthew Semmelsberger, which was a great win. Niko Price has lost to Michel Pereira, Phil Rowe, who's fighting in this card by KO, and Robbie Lawler by KO. Give me Alex Morono to win this by unanimous decision. I don't think he KOs Price. I think this goes hard, fought 15 minutes, and I think this fight actually looks sloppy on both ends. I don't think both of these guys look good. Court McGee, he looked weird against his last performance against Court McGee. He doesn't look like he's in his prime or in his top phenomenal, tip-top shape. Give me Alex Morono, not so confident pick. I'm going over 1.5. I think this fight goes the distance, but I'm going over 1.5 for safety. And give me Alex Morono to win this by decision, unanimous, 29-28. I think Niko Price wins the first round. Up the card, Phil Rowe versus Jake Matthews. The Celtic Kid versus the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Let's go. This card is fucking awesome, bro. Phil Rowe with a record of 10-4-0. Jake Matthews with a record of 19-7-0. Phil Rowe has lost 2 out of his last 5 to Neil Magny by split and Gabe Green. So has Jake Matthews lost his last 3 out of his last 5, but he's faced tougher competition. Sheen Brady, Matthew Semmelsberger, and Michael Morales, who arguably, he could have won a round against Michael Morales. He beat Darius Flowers and Andre Fiallo by KO. And Phil Rowe, has 3 wins in the middle. Jason Witt, Niko Price being one of them. Phil Rowe is the plus 135 underdog. But I think... Oh, shoot. Why did my camera just turn off? Hang on. Okay, hang on. Phil Rowe is the plus 135. Minus 165 for Jake Matthews, guys. I'm 33 years old, 29. Welterweight division, 6'3 to 5'11, 80-inch reach, and 72 for Jake Matthews. Tapology has 41% of the people's picks picking Phil Rowe and 59% of the people picking Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews is really good. He's the younger fighter from Australia. Recently, in my early predictions, I said that Phil Rowe was going to win this fight. He's a plus 135 underdog. Minus 165 for Jake Matthews. Guys, I just got to see how they look on the scales. Just give me Phil Rowe. Give me Phil Rowe. I know I said, Jake Matthews is a beast. He's really good. He should be able to win this fight. It's just that I think Phil Rowe, when it comes to the boxing, when it comes to the exchanges, the wrestling. The wrestling is a great department. Phil Rowe, his wrestling is not the best, and it all depends on whether Jake Matthews decides to wrestle. This is one of those fights where it's like it's so like it depends on who demonstrates their game plan first. And I know this fight goes the distance. I'm gonna be taking give me the fuck. Jake Matthews is a beast, bro. Just give me give me Phil Rowe to win this. Give me Phil Rowe to win this by decision. I know Jake Matthews could wrestle, but I'm just counting on. I know this is a bad, like, this is not the best breakdown for this fight because Jake Matthews is a dog, and I love Jake Matthews, one of my favorite fighters, which is why I'm kind of biased towards him. But I'm going Phil Rowe. In my last minute predictions on Friday, I might make a pick flip, but I'm going Phil Rowe right now. I'm going Phil Rowe to win this by unanimous decision. Let's go Phil Rowe to win and beat Jake Matthews. Even though a lot of people say Phil Rowe isn't that good, sometimes he has good performances. And I know Jake Matthews has fought tougher competition, but I like Phil Rowe, man. I like Phil Rowe, and he's pretty good, man. He put up a good performance against Neil Magny. Give me Phil Rowe to win that by unanimous decision, 29-28. Grant Dawson versus Joe Solecki. Grant Dawson is a guy who trains with Dustin Poirier and Mateusz Gamrot. He is part of ATT. His opponent, Joe Solecki, with a record of 13-4-0, has lost 2 out of his last 5 to Jakar Close by slam and Jared Gooden. Grant Dawson has lost his last fight in the first 30 seconds to Bobby Green, but before that he had great performances against Jared Gooden, Mark Madsen, and Damir Ismagulov, and he had a draw with Ricky Glenn. Guys, minus 324, Grant Dawson, big favorite, big parlay piece, goes the distance, nut hugger who's going to hug your nuts for 15 minutes, but he's pretty good. But 30 years old to 30, lightweight division, 5'10 to 5'9, 72 to 70 inch reach. Guys, give me Grant Dawson to win this by unanimous decision, 30-27, 30-27, 30-27. Joe Solecki sucks. Alright, up the card, Roman Kopylov versus César Almeida. Guys, I know I was kind of, that was a pretty fast breakdown with the Grant Dawson, but come on, guys. Joe Solecki's never going to be champ. Alright, Roman Kopylov versus César Almeida. This is a great kickboxing fight. Former Glory kickboxing champion who has wins over Alex Pereira versus Roman Kopylov. Roman Kopylov with a record of 12-3-0. César Almeida with a record of 5-0-0. Roman Kopylov minus 135 favorite. It's been going down. It was minus 140, now it's minus 135. He's from Russia, 33 years old, 185, 6'0", 75 inch reach. And for César Almeida, plus 115, 36 years old, 185, 6'1", 74 inch reach. Almost identical. Guys, I was doing a lot of tape study for this fight. Roman Kopylov is faster. He just sometimes has an issue with pressure. But I just want to see what Tapology is looking at. I know Kopylov is going to be majority's picks just because we don't know too much about César Almeida, but when you look at him, he's trained with Shane Strickland, and he looks pretty fucking good. If you're going Almeida, you're probably going Almeida by KO. I want to see how these guys look up against each other. I know this is going to be one of those crazy picks. This is one of those fights where anybody can win. But for right now, earlier this week I picked Roman Kopylov, but I'm going to go César Almeida. I'm going César Almeida just because I seen him train with Shane Strickland, and I seen him train with Roman Dolidze, and I know Extreme Couture is not one of those gyms where it's put on the map and it's put on notice, but César Almeida, former Kickboxing Glory champion, he's going to pressure. I just don't know how exactly he's going to pressure, but if he chooses to pressure and puts, with the leg kicks, puts more pressure on Roman Kopylov, I can see César Almeida winning this by KO. It's just that César Almeida has a grappling issue, and this is his second fight in the UFC. So if César Almeida is going to win this, it has to be by KO. I don't think he's going to win this by decision. He could, but it all depends on whether Roman Kopylov decides to wrestle or not. Roman Kopylov should be faster, but we'll see how he does against César Almeida. Give me César Almeida to win this by KO. I know a lot of people have Roman Kopylov by KO, but I'm going César Almeida by KO. This is my pick flip because earlier in the prediction I had Roman Kopylov. I'm going César Almeida, and I'm gonna go by KO. But I have to look at, age is a big factor. You have to look at all that. You have to take all that into consideration. So just give me César Almeida to win this by KO. Just because he has a very good record. Roman Kopylov is a beast, though. I have to look at him. I might do a pick flip on that one. That one, I'm 50-50 on that. Randy Brown versus Elizeu Zaleski. Randy Rude Boy Brown with a record of 18-5-0. His opponent Zaleski with a record of 24-7-1. Randy Brown, minus 155 favorite, plus 130 for the Brazilian. He comes from Queens, New York, 33 years old to 37, 171, 171, 6'3 to 5'11, 78 to 73. This guy's on juice, bro. If you're a Brazilian and you look like this motherfucker and you put up a good fight against Benoit Saint Denis, this guy's on gear. So we don't know how he's going to look. He's probably still on steroids and stuff and all that stuff, all that gear. Give me Randy Rude Boy Brown to be on the outside, hitting him with the jab, teep kicks to the body, Zaleski's going to try to shoot. Zaleski's not going to be able to get the takedown. It's going to be a full brawl. And give me Randy Brown to touch him up. Go to the side, leg kicks, go to the side, circle around the black ring, and win this unanimously. I don't think he KOs Zaleski. I think Randy Rude Boy Brown is pretty good unless you take him down and like somebody like Jack Della Maddalena who can submit him, or after dropping him, or with a Randy Rude Boy, his losses are like very like on the ground to Vicente Luque. Like he's pretty good on the feet though. He's a pretty good boxer, and he's pretty good when he enters his flow state. I think he's gonna enter his flow state on this one, and I think New Jersey's gonna cheer for the man. It's his hometown crowd, man. Let's get Randy Rude Boy Brown a win in his hometown, Newark, New Jersey. Not too far from Queens, man. Give me Randy Rude Boy Brown to win this by decision, 30-27, 29-28, 29-28. That was the first fight to open up the main card. Awesome. Jailton Almeida versus Alexandr Romanov as we go up the main card. Second fight on the main card. Jailton Almeida with a record of 20 wins, 3 losses, and 0 draws. Romanov, 17 wins, 2 losses. Those 2 losses are to Alexander Volkov and to Marcin Tybura. Jailton Almeida's one of his 3 losses is to Curtis Blaydes by KO. He shot very telegraphed takedown, and Curtis Blaydes was able to capitalize on it and knock him out. Jailton Almeida, minus 300. Doesn't have the greatest takedown entries. Plus 240 for Alexandr Romanov, who wants to take you down as well. Brazil versus Moldova, 32 years old to 33, 241 to 264, 20-pound, 30-pound difference, 6'3 to 6'2, 79 to 75. Guys, shout out to DFS. Guys, I'm going to be going Jailton Almeida to win this. I know he was a heavy favorite against Curtis Blaydes, and a lot of people lost him as a parlay piece because he decided to do something stupid, and when he was controlling Curtis Blaydes for the whole first round, he decided to shoot a takedown without no setups. And that's one of the things that could probably set up Jailton Almeida to his own demise. But I think a guy like Alexandr Romanov is not going to be able to capitalize on that. I think Curtis Blaydes is faster than Romanov. And I think a guy like Romanov wants to take you down, and he just wants to win by unanimous decision. But he's not as good as top control as Jailton Almeida. His top control, he can stick on you like glue. He sticked on Derek Lewis, 50-45, for almost the whole 25 minutes. This guy, Jailton Almeida, when he gets you to the ground, it's good. It's just how he's going to get you to the ground. If you're able to get him, if you're able to defend it, if he gets you to the ground, you're not getting up. So give me Jailton Almeida to win this by unanimous decision, 30-27, 30-27, 30-27. Let's get it, bro. I like Jailton Almeida, man. I'm not going to like him if he loses this fight, though. That's one thing. Third fight on the main card, Kevin Holland versus Michał Oleksiejczuk. A lot of people were saying fans are already starting to notice Michał Oleksiejczuk in the streets of New Jersey, so they took a picture of him. I would not be able to even tell who this guy is if I saw him in New York. I'll be like, it's just a regular New Yorker. Kevin Trailblazer Holland, he's a guy who's more noticeable, a guy who you can tell from a mile away. 25-11-0 for Kevin Holland. Michał, with a record of 19-7-0, his 2 losses out of his last 5 are to Kai Barallo and Michel Pereira. 2 months ago, which is something to put on notice because he stepped up for this fight. Kevin Holland stepped up for this fight too. against 2 months ago where he lost to Michael Venom Page and he lost to Jack Della Maddalena, and then his other losses to Stephen Thompson. But between that, Santiago Ponzinibbio and Michael Chiesa, he both beat. Michael Oleksiejczuk has beaten people like Chidi Njokuani, he's beaten people like Cody Brundage, and he's beaten people like Sam Alvey. Poland versus United States, minus 254. Kevin the Trailblazer Holland, plus 200 for Michael Oleksiejczuk, 31 years old to 29, 170 to 185, 6'3 to 6'0, 81, 74 inch reach. The odds aren't for every single fight, so if I don't break down the odds for a certain fight, they're not on Topology yet, but they are up on another like BetMGM, Bet365, FanDuel. They're probably up already by Monday. A lot of people have Holland by KO. Give me club and sub. Give me Holland by submission. I think he's gonna drop him, and he might be able to submit him. But I think this goes all 15 minutes, and I think Kevin Holland wins this by unanimous decision. I don't think Holland finishes Michael Oleksiejczuk. Oleksiejczuk has 13 people of Tapology to win on his side, but Oleksiejczuk is a guy who they want Kevin Holland to destroy and dismantle. So give me Kevin Holland to win this by decision. It's unpopular opinion, but I don't think Kevin Holland's going to be able to finish a guy like Michael Oleksiejczuk, who a lot of people think that is an easy finish, but he's not an easy finish. It's just Michel Pereira is very starts off very fast. Sheen Strickland versus Paulo Costa, co-main event, guys. We're already here. It's already time. Secret Juice, the Eraser, versus Strickland, the Tarzan. Strickland with a record of 28-6-0. His last 2 losses out of his last 5 are to Dricus du Plessis and to Jared Cannonier by split decision. Paulo Costa, the Eraser, he's very active. Strickland is very fucking active. I thought this was going to say Alex Pereira, but he fights so many times that he lost to Jared Cannonier. Paulo Costa, only 3 losses in his career, coming to Israel Adesanya, Marvin Vettori, and Robert Whittaker. There is a little curse going on saying that every card that Paulo Costa has been on, all champions has lost. And that's all 14 or 13 fights or something, all like 10 cards or something. Minus 205 for Strickland, plus 170 for Paulo Costa, 33 years old to 33. Middleweight division, 6'1 to 6'1, 76 to 72. Paulo Costa has T-Rex arms, but he has heavy body kicks, heavy kicks to the body, heavy leg kicks, heavy high kicks, and a very good spinning kick, which he hit Robert Whittaker with. And he had Robert Whittaker on skates at the end of the round. Arguably, you could have won. You could have. I still gave that round to Whittaker, but you still could have. You could have given it to Costa because of that big moment. Costa is a guy who has big moments, and he waits, and then has those big moments. He has a very good output, and he's not a one-punch KO guy. He's a guy who can finish you with an overwhelming amount of output and a barrage of punches. He can finish Strickland, but I think a guy like Strickland is going to go all 5, and he's here, he's going to be here. And if he gets hit, he's going to get dropped. Strickland's going to get dropped if he gets hit with one of those spinning heel kicks. It just depends on whether Strickland can get back up. I think Strickland is one of the most defensive fighters in the whole UFC. I was watching his fight against Israel Adesanya, 50-45, 50-45, 50-45. MMA Joey says that Izzy probably won 1 round, but I doubt that. He's an Izzy dick rider. Give me Shane Strickland to win. And give me Strickland to beat Paulo Costa by unanimous decision. I think he definitely loses like 2 rounds to Paulo Costa though, because the guy like Strickland makes his fights way too close. Like we saw with Dricus du Plessis, we saw with Jared Cannonier, we saw with Nasruddin Imavov, we saw with other than Abus and Izzy, but his fights are very close. Some of them, they're very clear and direct rounds, but with this fight, there's going to be a lot of close rounds, and I think that a guy like Paulo Costa could definitely win early. But I think if somebody's going to get finished, it gets finished late. I don't think nobody's getting finished early within the first 3 rounds. I think if somebody's getting a finish, it's Costa within the 4th and 5th, or Strickland within the 4th and 5th. I don't think somebody gets finished the first 3. So give me over 1.5, give me over 2.5, and give me Shane Strickland to win this by decision. It might even be split, because you know Costa has gone full 5 with Marvin Vettori. He's gone a lot of rounds. He's gone with Luke Rockhold, which was at elevation. So Paulo Costa is a hard guy to finish. And a guy like Strickland doesn't have that much power. Give me Shane Strickland to win this by unanimous decision. 48-47, 48-47. And then maybe 49-46. It's going to be a great fight, guys. Costa, if you have Costa, you have him by maybe a barrage. But I wouldn't be surprised if Costa can win a decision, man. Costa's really good. And when he's able to maintain his stamina, he puts up a great fight. I hope this fight goes all 5 rounds, man. I just want to see it, man. I'm just excited just to see this fight, man. One of my most anticipated fights. I can't wait for this one. This is one of my favorite fights on the card. Now we have the main event time, guys. Dustin, the Diamond Poirier versus Islam Makhachev, Khabib Nurmagomedov's prodigy. The guy who got the belt after Khabib retired, Oliveira got the belt, and then Islam Makhachev returned the belt back to Khabib. Guys, Islam Makhachev with a record of 25-1-0, the guy who defeated Volkanovski in his prime, defeated Charles Oliveira in his prime, and has very, very good wins against Dan Hooker, submission Bobby Green, Charles Oliveira, Alexander Volkanovski, and Alexander Volkanovski. His run to the title was a little bit questionable because people are like, who did he beat? But until he beat Oliveira, then people are like, okay, alright, this guy deserves a title shot. It's crazy to think that he got a title shot off of beating Bobby Green. You know, like, I don't know. Pretty lackluster. But he's the champion. He's here to stay. Guys, Islam Makhachev is a beast. No shame in that. Minus 480. Of course, he's a minus 480. Every time Makhachev fights, you know, it's between an IV and, you know, trying to get a rehydration clause. You know what I'm saying? Every time Islam fights, it's 7 months in between and then IV. 7 months in between and then IV. No, I'm just kidding. Lightweight, 32 years old for Islam, 35 years old for Dustin, 155, 5'10 and 5'9, 70-inch reach and 73-inch reach for Dustin. Dustin has the longer reach, which is actually pretty cool. You know, I didn't think Islam Makhachev had a 70.5-inch reach. It's not going to matter because Islam Makhachev is going to shoot. I think he's going to choose to strike, though. I think he's going to shoot early. He's going to try to copy and replicate what Khabib did, but he's going to strike. He's going to strike at some points, and he's going to strike early just to let Dustin know that he can strike with him as well. Dustin is a plus 360 underdog. And when you look at a record like Dustin Poirier, he has 8 losses, but those 8 losses are all in the UFC and all to one of the most top contenders, like the top echelon of the UFC. He's lost 2 out of his last 5 to Charles Oliveira by submission and Justin Gaethje by KO. This is Dustin Poirier's 3rd title shot. He will be getting his 3rd title shot after losing to Khabib by submission and Charles Oliveira by submission. But prior to that, this guy has beaten the top. He's won interim champ. He is one of those guys who sweeps up the division and has been at the top of his game for a long time. Islam Makhachev is the newer generation, and Dustin Poirier, this may be his last fight that we see him. It's kind of bittersweet because we have to, you know, embrace that Dustin Poirier is not going to be here for the longest time, and maybe Islam Makhachev puts him out. But with all that being said, with everybody going by Islam Makhachev by double chance, by KO or submission, Islam Makhachev by sub, Islam Makhachev by sub, everybody's saying that. Give me Dustin Poirier. Give me Dustin Poirier by KO. I think Dustin Poirier is going to drop Islam Makhachev, and I think he's going to win this by unanimous decision. And I know everybody was saying I'm delusional. Everybody was saying, oh, this guy's delusional, bro. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This guy's a casual. I had some guy say that. Bro, you, my friend, are the casual for thinking that one fight is so definitive, that there is such a definitive answer for this one fight. Khabib has submitted him. Oliveira has submitted him. You know these guys want to try to submit this guy. Dustin's not going to let you submit him, bro. He's not going to let you submit him, bro. That's not how it goes. Rematches never play the same. We saw with the Justin Gaethje versus Dustin Poirier, that rematch didn't play the same. Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, that rematch didn't play the same. Rematches almost never play the same. I'm not saying this is a rematch, so it's not going to play the same. What I'm saying is that Dustin Poirier, when it comes to his 5-round wars against Dan Hooker, when it comes to 5 rounds wars, Max Holloway, a guy like Max Holloway who has more output, a guy who Islam Makhachev wouldn't be able to strike 5 rounds with, he's going to have to shoot. Islam Makhachev is going to shoot early. He said in Khabib's documentary, or Khabib's, Khabib's making YouTube videos now because, he owes 3.3 million to the fucking Saudis. So he's making YouTube videos now, obviously after, 4 years of retiring and hiding from everybody. Khabib has said that Islam's going to finish Dustin Poirier in 3 rounds. He's going to finish him in 3 rounds. That puts more pressure on Islam, and I think Islam's going to win this by decision. I think if Islam's going to win, it's more likely by decision. I think Dustin Poirier is going to win this by decision, though. I don't think Islam Makhachev is going to win. I think Islam Makhachev has to shoot early. I think he has to shoot early because if he stands up with Dustin, he's going to be in for a rude awakening, bro. When it comes to a barrage of hooks, and when it comes to the ending, and when Dustin Poirier senses a finish, bro, he's going to fucking finish you. I hate Islam Makhachev, bro. I'm going to just be honest. Nobody wants to talk about how Ali Abdelaziz said that Islam Makhachev, he even tweeted out on Twitter, Islam Makhachev used an IV after the rehydration clause against Volkanovski in Australia. A lot of people are going to be like, no, Islam didn't. What are you talking about? The IV, what are you talking about? Bro, Islam Makhachev used an IV for the rehydration clause after he was on the phone with Khabib when he won by decision against Volkanovski. Khabib was like, because you didn't have that much time to recover after cutting that much weight. When these guys cut all this much weight, when they try to replenish, they need at least 24 hours to replenish. This guy is not a true lightweight. He's not a true lightweight. This guy he's like a welterweight if he were to actually fight at his weight. Dustin Poirier is going to be lighter in the cage. Dustin Poirier is going to be more rehydrated. Dustin Poirier is going to be the hometown advantage. Dustin Poirier is going to be the guy who is going to capitalize off of Islam Makhachev's lazy shots. Islam Makhachev has very good inside trips. He likes to fight with the clinch, but when this guy throws a naked high kick or a naked body kick, Dustin Poirier has one of the best defenses. He broke Conor McGregor's leg with his elbow because of his defense to the body. Dustin Poirier is one of the most defensively sound fighters, and I think he matches up against Islam Makhachev better than Justin Gaethje and Conor McGregor do. I think a guy like Dustin Poirier is perfect for this time because he's fought people like Khabib and he's fought people like Oliveira, so he knows what he's going to have to deal with. He knows what he's going up against, and he knows he has to get up. Come on, let's go, up. He doesn't have the best flexibility, and he doesn't have the best hip rotation. He's not the most flexible, and he doesn't have the best butterfly guard like Oliveira. But I think he's going to put up a better performance than Oliveira and a better performance than anybody Islam Makhachev has fought. And people are going to be like, bro, Prime Volkanovski did one of the best performances against Islam. But I think Dustin Poirier is going to show a little bit of holes in Islam Makhachev's game. I think too many people are high on Islam, and too many people are thinking that he's going to do the same thing to Dustin. When everybody was saying Conor McGregor is just going to run through Dustin, he's going to run through Dustin, not everybody's going to predict the right thing. So if the majority of people are on Islam by submission, give me Dustin Poirier by decision. Because I don't like how everybody just says, oh, stupid American, Islam's going to win, inshallah. Man, shut the fuck up, man. Dustin Poirier's going to knock this motherfucker out in New Jersey, guys. Give me Dustin Poirier by KO, by unanimous decision. I know I keep on saying by KO. Dustin Poirier's going to drop him, and then he's going to win by unanimous decision. I don't think Dustin Poirier is going to finish Islam Makhachev, but I think Dustin Poirier is going to expose a lot of holes in Islam Makhachev's game. Islam Makhachev has a lot of game where he looks tired, man. He looked fucking tired as fuck after Alex Volkanovski's fight. And I know after the second one, he finished him fast. But what if Islam Makhachev doesn't get the first finish within the first 3 rounds? Dustin Poirier is there for the 4th and the 5th. And Dustin Poirier's last title shot, Dustin Poirier, 3rd time's charm. Dustin Poirier's not going to just give up his last title shot. He's not going to be willing like a guy like Izzy, who was willing to lose all 5 rounds to Strickland. He's like, okay, I'd be more content with losing a decision than getting knocked out. A guy like Dustin Poirier is a guy who's lost the 1st, 2nd, and has came back the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, who has lost the 2nd and 3rd and comes back 4th and 5th, who has questionable 3 rounds against Dan Hooker, against Max Holloway, and then he settles it with the 4th and 5th. If Dustin Poirier can make it to the 4th and 5th round, bro, Dustin Poirier will pull Islam Makhachev in trouble, bro. Khabib's not going to be in Islam's corner, bro. So that gives Dustin even more of a chance, guys. A lot of people are going to be calling me crazy casual. I just hate how people just blindly tell Islam Makhachev just because they think he's exactly like Khabib, when there's a lot of differences between him and Khabib. And I think Khabib is a worse matchup for Dustin Poirier than Islam, because Islam is a guy who's going to strike with Poirier. And if you're going to be Poirier, you got to grapple right away. You can't strike with Poirier. Islam's going to try to get cocky, and he's going to try to strike with Poirier. And I think that's what it's going to lead to his own demise. Give me Dustin Poirier to win this by decision. Let's go. And new, baby. And fucking new. Shine bright like a diamond. Comment your favorite dog. Comment your most anticipated fight. And comment if you think I'm a fucking idiot. Comment if you think I'm a delusional and I have L takes. But give me Dustin Poirier. Give me the diamond. Third time's a charm. To beat this IV user. Let's get it. Drop a like on the video, guys. Let's fucking get it. Thank you guys for all the love that you guys have been showing me, guys. Follow me on Twitter, guys. Like, thank you guys for everything, guys. Let's get it, guys. See you guys in the next one. Let's get it. Peace. I hate Islam. Let's go.